realize it's a holy God that convicts you, calls you to come and be intimate with him. And all of a sudden the ball game is not whether it's your sweet little personality, your little timid ways. It's obedience. It's saying, yes, Lord. And I don't want to hurt my God. Do you want to hurt your God? The God that's allowed you and I to be here right now, right here, and gives us breath? Amen. Man, what a song. Man. I was regretting the past. I was fearing the future. Suddenly my Lord was speaking to me. My name is I Am, he said. He paused. I waited. He continued. When you live in the past with the mistakes and regrets, it's hard. I'm not there. My name is not I was. When you live in the future with its problems and fears, that's hard. I'm not there. My name is not I will be. When you live in this moment, it is not hard. I am here. My name is I Am. I say glory. I almost feel right now like we should probably open the altar. Hey, by the way, you know, if you have a need, I think sometimes spontaneity is okay.
Amen.
The Lord knows we could use a little more of it maybe in the Nazarene church at least, if I'm any judge of that. And if you get convicted and you think God wants you, we're not condemning you anyway. I mean, it's none of our business. We're not judging you. You just do what God tells you to do. See, and another thing, it seems to me like that people will see that. If you come to the altar, you may be a big leader in the church. But if they see that, you say, oh my goodness, what will they think? Well, who cares?
That's right.
Probably help them. And if you're just doing it for them anyway, you really need to get here. Amen. And I just want you to feel free to use the salt. That's why they've got it here. Amen. Wraps all the way around. I say glory to God. Goes right into the secret closet. Goes right into the war room. Say amen, somebody.
Amen.
John chapter 11. Jesus finally shows up. And actually the inference there is that when he was 4 days late, when he had known that Lazarus was in the tomb now, 4 days. And he comes up to the tomb. It was a cave, stone laid against it. Lazarus is in it. You know the deal. And he says, take away the stone. And good old Martha. I'm more like Martha than I am Mary. I wish I could say I was other way, but I'm more like Martha. And some of you are more like Martha too. Aren't you? And she says, but Lord, he's been in there 4 days. By now he stinks. Anybody bring the free? Don't you reckon? Don't you? This is a message on the things the hindrances that keep you from the closet, the hindrances that keep you from believing as we need to believe. And don't you reckon a God that can raise the dead could probably take care of the smell? Hello? It's not up to him. It's all about him, but it's not up to him. He's already done it. Amen? It's up to us to believe. Praise God. Now, you got to go back to chapter 11, verse 1. And you got to understand a little bit about the geography of the time. Jesus and his disciples are in Bethany. Now this Bethany, where Jesus and his disciples are, it doesn't tell you exactly in the word, but they're over on the other side of the Jordan, which is about 15, 20 miles away from where Mary and Martha and Lazarus live in the Bethany near Jerusalem. Okay, do you get the distinction? Very important. And so they're over there, and Mary and Martha are over here, 15 miles away, let's say, at least, and they send word to Jesus that the one that he loves, Lazarus, is sick. This is the same Mary, put oil on his body and all that stuff, and close friends of Jesus. And they sent word to Jesus that the one you love is sick. That's what the message was. The one you love is sick. So Jesus gets the message. It's a day after they sent it that he gets it. You getting this? And now, Jesus, it almost sounds, if you look at the first 4 verses in John chapter 11, it almost sounds like it's kind of a manipulated thing. And I say that hesitantly because Mary and Martha are very close to Jesus. Lazarus is a very close friend. Jesus is very concerned about their illness, but I got news for you. Jesus is very concerned about your illness too. He's very concerned about the one you're concerned about. Amen. There's no favoritism here. And so, but Mary and Martha are assuming, since they're friends and they love each other and all of that, that maybe they've got some good vibes. Maybe they can use Jesus. You ever do that? Well, Lord, I come to church, man. I've been revival every night. I teach this and I sing this and I preach this. And do you ever try to let God know that he might owe you one or two? I only say that because I do that. It's easy to do that. Lord, why in the world is this happening to me, preacher? Why does this happen to me? Man, what's the deal on this? And the first stone I want you to think about removing tonight may not apply to any of you, but it sure applies to me. We need to remove the stone of using God and let him use us. That makes sense? Thank God for your faithfulness. Thank God for you that have stood by the place. Somebody said this carpet's been here for 30 years. I can't even believe that. I don't hardly believe it. I believe you. I don't believe you're lying, but I mean, I just can't imagine a church allowing the same color of carpet for 30 years. But anyway, maybe it was so hard to get this color that you... Anyway. Can we stop using God and believe him to let him use us? Amen. Can we get that stone out of the way? Can we? Remove the stone of unbelief. How many of you could use a miracle? How many of you could use a miracle? Now I know there's a theology now. I don't know if you've got into that or not. I sure wish I hadn't. But anyway, there's a theology out there now that doesn't believe that miracles happen. Lord have mercy. How do you explain salvation? How do you explain someone being born again? That's one of the greatest miracles there is. Amen. If you're a born again child of God tonight, that's one of the greatest miracles there is. That's right. If you're sanctified, holy, and living day by day, that is miracle of miracles. So I don't know how they explain that, but I tell you what, I've got to remove the obstacle, the hindrance that gets in the way by using God. So now Jesus, when he heard this over there, it's in John 11, he said, this is not going to end, this sickness of Lazarus is not going to end in death. That's what he said to the messenger. The only way I can figure that happened, then the messenger trucks all the way back to Mary and Martha and says, it's not going to end in death. Now that's a scary thought to them. They have the mourners already set up. They're already crying and bawling and squalling, as they should have been. Lazarus is dead, baby. Jesus said it wasn't going to end in death, but Lazarus is dead. And they've already put him in the grave. They've already put him in the tomb. Rolled the stone in front of it. And then you know what Jesus does? Do you know what Jesus does when he gets the message and tells them that? He stays where he is. So the Bible says, that's amazing, that little word, so. So he stays 2 more days. Now everybody in here can understand that. Where in the world was Jesus? Man, we called him, and man, he shows up 4 days later. Got to remove the stone. Got to remove the doubt. Got to remove the impatience. I know, bless your heart, you live up here in this quaint, can I say borough? Is this a borough?
City.
Excuse me, city, excuse me. What's the difference between a borough and a city?
Borough is smaller.
Yeah.
You always learn something. Anyway, you go to, okay, when you leave church tonight, you go to the next stop light. I dare you. I double dog dare you. And you stop, and when it turns green, you just wait right there. I dare you. I mean, you talk about impatience. You've never heard so much racket in all your life. Me, get out of the way, and then give you their intelligent sign, and the whole business. Folks, we really do. If we want the miracle God, we want the revival God wants. We're going to have to get our impatience on the altar. And you know what happens when you ask and when you talk to God for patience? You better know you're going to get it. But hey, that's the scriptural way. So we need to remove that stone of impatience and wait on the Lord. And what do you do when you wait? Oh, you turn the TV on and you watch Dead Man Walking, or what's this garbage they have now? These dead men get up and walking. Thank you.
I don't like zombies.
I don't either, man. Whatever those are, is that what they are? Zombies? Wait on the Lord. Say it with me. They that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary. I like this last part. And they shall walk and not faint. We've got to get the hindrance of limiting God because of our impatience on the altar and wait on the Lord, and it's going to happen.
Amen.
The Bible says that Jesus loved Mary and his sister Martha and Lazarus. I got news for you. He loves you too.
Yeah.
And he cares about the C world, the C word. cancer. Was it here? All the people had cancer? That we were praying for, or was that last week? It seemed like everybody we prayed for had cancer. My heart goes out. Some of you have had cancer. Have you not? If you've had cancer, or you have cancer, or whatever, let me see your hand. If you're not ashamed of it. Yeah. God knows. We got to wait on the Lord. He's the only one who can help us. Praise God. Even if it's a desperate wait, we got to wait. Amen? You get it? Okay. Praise God. Okay, so he's with his disciples, and he waits, and he says to them, Lazarus is taking a nap, or Lazarus is sleeping. And his disciples say, if he's sleeping, everything's cool. We're over here, a day away. You almost got stoned to death the last time you were there. We're okay over here. He's okay over there. So what's the big deal? Jesus says, no, he's dead. And we're going to wake him up. Come on, church board. Get on that one for a while. Big Chad comes into the board meeting and says, here's what's going to happen. We're going to follow God, and we're going to see this place full and overflowing. Shout amen, somebody. He'll say, oh, no. We're going to go back and get some of those that thought that, no. Yes. They were all griping and moaning and groaning. Man, the last time you were there, they tried to kill you, and you're going back there. He said, yeah, we're going back. Even though we waited 2 more days, we're still going back there. And going to wake Lazarus up. And good old Thomas. Check out what Thomas means in the Greek. Does anybody know? Huh? Yeah, he's a doubter. There's definitely that question. It means twin. Every church I've ever been in always had twin doubters. Some of you aren't smiling. Oh, you know who it is. Did they touch a nerve? Well, honey, get over it. Amen. I'm not trying to be crass. You know what it is? It's an obstacle. It's a hindrance to the kingdom of God.
Amen.
And it's called DNA. Doubting negative attitude.
Amen.
Now, maybe it's just the blessing I've had, but I haven't noticed that. So I'm just preaching from the heart and from the word. Say amen, somebody. But if you use DNA, it's time for you to shape up. Amen?
Amen.
Doubting negative attitude. And old Thomas, the twin. So, okay, let's all go back with him and die with him. We're all going to die. Big Chad going to come in here and he's going to take us down that path. Okay, let's just all get together and die with him. God help us.
Yes.
You know what we need to do? Here's what we need to do. Because see, really, let me try to be kind. The doubting negative attitude spills over into every area of your life. That's why you have trouble at school. That's why you have trouble at your job. Especially why you have trouble in the church. Because for some reason we put up with that stuff. Now come on, folks. Come on, respond to me a little better here. Ask ask him to help you.
Amen.
Can I tell you this? I still struggle. Pray for me if you don't have anybody else to pray for. When I grew up, if it was fun, it was sin. Try that out on a teenager that thinks he's cool, that had a DNA anyway. We don't do this. We brag about it. They brag about it. We don't do this. We don't do that. We don't smoke. And we don't drink. And we don't do. And we don't go with girls that do. Now, I agree with the part not going with girls at 2, but anyway, I mean, it's tough kissing, but, okay, trade in the doubting negative attitude for a delight now attitude, and he will give you the desires of your heart.
Amen.
Amen? Hallelujah. I had one matriarch of a church I will not mention. Someone's probably got a sister over there or a brother. You know how the grapevine is. One of my first messages, I was scared to death anyway. I was just rookie. And I came down pretty hard on some stuff, I guess. And she came walking up, she came walking up to me. And she said, "I'll have you know, Brother Ulmet, we don't have to do anything but live and die." Basically speaking, it's pretty much true. She forgot taxes, but I wasn't going to remind her at the moment. She was in no shape to discuss taxes. Her husband, boys and girls. Wow. I said, his name might have been Stuart. I said, I was talking to him on the phone. He says, "Brother Ulmet," he says, "we got this, we got a new screen door." I'm not making, you can't make this stuff up. You can't. I couldn't even imagine this stuff. He says, "We got a new screen door over at the house. Says the old one's all broken up, but I wondered if the church could use it." What are we going to do with it? Sure, Stu, bring it on over. Thank you for your sacrificial giving. I mean, I appreciate it. He was sober. I said, "I don't know what we're going to do with it, Stuart." Told me another time, and he was griping. He was always griping. I mean, we had church board meetings, and it was really interesting. I thought I was supposed to be the pastor. Good luck, Brother Bill. And anytime anything halfway controversial came up, 10 faces turned over to Stuart. And it's like, oh, it was like Caesar. Have you ever seen Caesar on the board meeting? Vote yes. Vote no, and most of the time it was vote no. Is this getting a little too close? I'm going to the next point, if you want me to. I got 7 of them, honey. We could be here all night.
Preach it.
He says, and he was griping about it. I was on the phone to him. He said, "Brother," I said, if his name was Stuart, I said, "Stuart, are you sanctified?" Oh. Oh, Pastor, that's none of your business. Guess I had my answer. Said, I guess I had my answer. That old carnality comes out, folks. And the funny thing, I told you the other day, the deceit of the heart makes you think you're okay. And you can just down everything and be negative about everything. And the kids get a hold of that. It's just tough. Get it on the altar. Do you know you could be free of that tonight? Amen. You can have a delight now attitude, Lord. 2 days later, they come traipsing over there, and time they get to there 4 days late, disciples and Jesus. Mary and Martha come running out. Martha, I love Martha. She comes running out there, and she says, Jesus, if you'd have been here, my brother wouldn't have died. Buddy, that hit me right between the eyeballs. If he'd been there, when my daddy died, Daddy might not have died. Later on, if he'd have been there when my mama died, my mama might not have died. What do you do? Jesus said, Martha, your brother is going to rise again. Oh, I know. I see Martha's so into what she's thinking that she didn't get it. She said, oh, I know he'll rise on the last day. Blah, blah, blah. I know theologically what all that's going to do. Jesus says, Martha, I am the resurrection and the life. Amen. He that liveth and liveth me, though he die, shall live. Do you believe this? The blame game. The blame game. It's not the preacher's fault. It's not the evangelist's fault either. He's the one that asked me to come. You might blame him for it, but it's not the board's fault. Let's quit the blame game. What do you say? Let's just believe in the resurrecting power of the Holy Spirit of God. Amen. Let's believe God for the miracle that we need to have. Amen. Let's get the blame game on the altar and stepping stone of a believe in God, believe in the resurrected Christ. Mary said the same thing. She said, if you'd been here, my brother wouldn't have died. Jesus comes over there and says, where have you laid him? Just in case you wonder if God cares, look at the most passionate verse in the Bible, and it's the shortest verse. Jesus wept. Jesus wept. And he didn't just have a couple tears. He broke down and bawled. Jesus, the God of the universe, knowing what he was going to do or trying to do. I think half of his tears, you know what I think half of his tears? I know it doesn't matter, if you don't know for sure from Scripture, but it just seems to me like half his tears were because he wondered if they were going to believe. Jesus can raise the dead, you can't. Jesus can heal the sick, you can't. But he can give you the authority. And the prayer of faith heals the sick. If they've been sins, they'll be forgiven them. Effectual, fervent prayer of righteous people avails much. Do you believe? Church, do you believe?
Yes.
Do you believe you can have a Bible?
Yes.
Amen. Believe you can have it every day. Do you believe you can have it every time you meet together in the church? Amen. Do you believe on Thursday when all kinds of people are there together, hopefully Do you believe it can make a difference in a sick nation that needs us so bad?
Hallelujah.
Oh, thank you, Jesus. Yeah. Belief turns to blame game turns to belief. He's going to rise again. Going to rise again. Well, oh, yeah, okay. So he's bawling, and he comes up and he that's when he says, okay, remove the stone. Take the stone away. But Lord, I know we got kids here tonight, but how can I say this? When can we get our BUTs on the altar? Doesn't make any sense. It's been there 4 days. It doesn't make any sense. I got great news for you tonight. Most everything Jesus says doesn't make any common sense.
Amen.
You want a miracle? It ain't going to come from common sense.
Amen.
Don't you wish more people had common sense? Yes, I do. But that doesn't bring the miracle.
Amen.
The thing that brings the miracle is spiritual sense. Faith in the living God, in the one and only. Hallelujah. See those guys on TV, and some of those guys, they don't have it all wrong. Faith is the victory.
Amen.
Hallelujah. I don't like some of their motivation, but hey, there's seed time and harvest, and God Almighty is going to take care of business.
Right.
If we can get the unbelief out of the way and believe Him.
Amen.
God help us tonight. You can't give God.
Amen.
I'm an evangelist. You know I was going to get on giving sometime. A lot of squirming going. Is there a lot of squirming going on in this town? I was in Orlando. No, Lakeland, Florida. Front row. It's a Wednesday night. It's closing the revival. And preacher gets up. And I thought it was kind of cool the way he did it. He's taking the last offering of the revival. And I don't know if he didn't have enough in the kitty or what. But anyway, he says, excuse me. He says, you know, I believe there's somebody in this audience tonight, and Chad didn't do this tonight, but he might do it tomorrow, so be ready. He said, I believe somebody in here has a $100 bill. Well, the funny thing was, I thought about this later. I had a $100 bill. Well, you know what's coming next. I believe God told me that He was supposed to put it in. Huh? I don't ever have a $100 bill. If I do, I'll send it to Miss Kathy. He must have given me for food or something. And I said, oh Lord, help me. I said, I've got a $100 bill. I believe the Lord wants you to put it in. So here's my conversation. You ever converse with the Lord before you do something? I say, now Lord. I said, but Lord. I said, if I put that in, that might be most of the offering. And besides that, Lord, sometimes they pay some up to me. So why? And then I thought I heard him say, so why would it be hard to put it in? Hello? Sure. You know that guy I helped last night showing an illustration? I put a 10 in his hand. He put another bill in my hand. I figured it was a 10. I got home. I go to pay for something at the store today, and it was a $20 bill. 10 went into 20. Say amen, somebody. Get out, give God. Is your tithe paid up? Look at your neighbor and say, is your tithe paid up? Is your tithe paid up? Can't have given. I said, okay, Lord. and I drop it in. It did feel good, pretty good. I never get to put $100 in because I never get a $100 bill. But put me in and that felt good. So had a great revival. And he says to me, I didn't check my props tonight, I'm sorry. Anyway, he gives me a check after church. Sometimes they do that. It's amazing. And it's folded up. And I'm not going to embarrass him by unfolding it and see what it is right in front of him. That wouldn't be kosher. So, and I'm a Jew, but still, I'm a true Jew. I'm a true Jew. Amen? Okay. And so I went to the bathroom, opened it up. And I'm not kidding you. It tears me up, but I've been there before. And the check was over $500 more than it was the time before. I tell you, and I'm not a rich man, but, well, I'm rich in heaven, praise God. That's all I need. But I didn't know I needed that money. Can I give God? Not only that, I took off, go home to Champaign, Illinois at the time, and going to drive all night on the way home. Guy from Waco, Texas, calls me, says, "Hey, Brother Owen, you were here last spring, and we were having revival tonight, and taking up the last offering, and God spoke to me and said, we didn't give you enough last spring, so a sizable check's coming in the mail." I said, "Glory be to Jesus, hallelujah, let's do this again sometime." You can't outgive God. And in fact, I would even challenge you, try it. I love the story about John Maxwell. He's working with these guys, is one of his new converts. And they come in, they're making $100 a week. And he said, "No, Brother John, I just can't afford." He says, just give God the first 10%. Well, what's 10% of 100? $10. He starts giving $10. You know what happened? Well, of course you know what happened. He starts making $500 down on his job. Well, what's 10% of $500? Let's see you do the math. $50 buckaroos. He starts giving $50 a week. He's just, man, it's just amazing. And the job opens up. He said, and start paying him $1,000 a week. What's 10% of $1,000? $100. He calls John Maxwell, his pastor, and says, "Pastor, I can't afford $100 a week." John says, "Come on over to the office." Comes over to the office, he kneels down right beside him. He said, "Now we're going to pray. Now, Lord, take him back to making $100 a week so he can afford to pay tithe." No. Can't outgive God. Isn't it fun? And I know some of you have found that. It's just a lot of fun. You can't outgive him. You just keep giving and giving and giving, and he just keeps pouring it on. And it's more than just finances. Hallelujah. Finance is probably a small part of it. Hallelujah. Where did I get on that? Anyway, let's get back to the rocks. It's not common sense, folks. It's spiritual sense, faith in the Almighty. And the Bible says, then they took away the stone. Can I get kind of crass? Just do it.
Amen.
Just think and do it. Sometimes you just got to get down to it and do it. I know the Lord wants me to do it. Well, I know the Lord wants to save me. I do it. Well, I know He'd like to sanctify me, but do it. I know I should witness it. Do it. He's ready. Came all the way back. Just do it. Just. I probably shouldn't even say it this way. Just get her done. Don't go too far that way. Just do it. They took away the stone. Now I want you to notice what happened. If you're looking in the Word, notice what happened. Not a thing except they moved the stone. See, because you can obey all you want. You can obey all you want to obey. But until the stone's moved, you're not going to raise the dead. You're not going to do the miracle. Your part is believing. Faith. Praise God. And then Jesus said, in a loud voice, Lazarus. Well, he had to say a loud voice because if there's a lot of other people, dead people there, if he just said come forth, they'd all come forth. That really scared everybody. You imagine in church praying for a miracle and they see all these miracles come in, they die. They just have to change places with them. Lazarus, come forth! And here he comes. I don't know how in the world a dead man walks. I mean, if you've seen the zombies, maybe it's close. But here he comes. Here comes, oh man, this is sick. You know, and here he comes. Here comes Lazarus. He comes out of the tomb. He comes out of the tomb. It's like a dead man walking, I guess. It's like the mummy's returned or something. He was dead. And he comes out and he's walking. Now see, Jesus has already said, thank you. Thank you for hearing me. He's praising God before it happens.
That's right, man.
Come on.
That's right.
I mean, we could make 4 or 5 more stones if you wanted to go another couple hours. Lazarus, come forth.
That's right.
You know what the last thing Jesus said was? He said it to the people there. Loose him and let him go. Pretty good stuff. How many times have we got to the place where we saw the miracle and we saw God do that to these new converts, and we got that eyes. I think you need to stop talking. Won't you let the Holy Ghost take care of the new convert?
That's right. Amen.
Now, discipleship is what God told us to do.
Amen.
And everybody in here should be discipling somebody.
Amen.
And everybody in here should be being discipled by somebody.
That's right.
Amen. I knew I was going to get you all the altar. Well, it wasn't me getting you. Conviction of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Lose him. And let him go. We had a guy in our church in suicidal. And I'm done with this. This is such a great place to preach. You guys act interested. And there's no clock in a whole cotton picking place. Guy named Ernie Dilly. He wasn't related to Dairy Queen, but he was a Dilly. Dilly was, can I say this to you? You understand? He was a little bit on the charismatic side. Oh, okay. Extra. Good. That's good. He had faith. Oh man, he had more faith than most of us all that does put together. But so he had joined the church. He wasn't a board member, but he'd sure pray with us. And he was always at the prayer meetings, and he would always have to believe. And he was so way out. He just believed God could do anything.
That's right.
Right? And I'll never forget, we were landlocked. It was looking like we were gonna die on the vine because the church building was full and we didn't have land to build. We had a lot, a car lot next to us, and we had a field next to that, and the boy, and the one immediately next to the church, the property we really thought we could use, they were going to another church, and they were staunch. We knew. The board had so much faith. We had so much faith, and we had so much agreement. We knew they never let us have it. DNA? I was on the board. I know. I did. I confess. One Sunday morning. Can't make it up, folks. Early Dilly, 7 o'clock in Sunday morning, is out on this next door neighbor's porch with the anointing oil and putting a cross on the windows and the doors, naming it and claiming it for Jesus. Well, us board members got together and said, "Oh, folks, get the ambulance ready. He's going to get shot. Just pray that he won't get killed." He didn't get shot. The board had so much faith that we knew it wasn't going to happen. Ernie had so much faith he knew it wasn't. Guess who won? Guy got a divorce. The guy next door let us trade his property. We built him a house. Then next to him, the car lot guy, he comes to the pastor and he says, "We're getting a divorce. I've got to sell this land." Just about gave to him. Whole field. Ernie went over there and started touching the ground and started anointing the ground. And we got back to shouting in somebody. About that time, Jim Deal, who was our pastor. I don't know about these pastors. Sometimes they feel like God's led them to someplace else. Well, that's how you got your guy. Okay. We were devastated. Church is not built on a pastor. Amen. Church is built on the living Christ. Amen. Praise God. Amen. So he went to Mid-America, and we were all, "Oh, what are we going to do?" I can just hear a deal too. "Oh, what are we going to do? What are we going to do?" In 2 weeks, we had a pastor, we had ground, and in a couple of years, we built a sanctuary to seat 1,300. I say we, excuse me. God built it. Amen. Could you remove the stone that God's talked to you about tonight? It's been a nice close. Maybe you'd say, "Brother Ulmet, I believe the Lord's talked to me about a hindrance or an obstacle. I don't mind telling you that He's talked to me, and I just plan on minding Him." Would you raise your hand quickly and put it down all over the place? All over the place. Yes, I see that. See that. See that. Anybody else? Yes, I see that. Thank you. Amen. All right, let me ask you this. How many of you need a miracle in your life, or in the church's life, or in your family life? Let me see your hand. Praise God. Jesus, we're here tonight to talk to you. We're here tonight to say, "Lord, here we are, and here's what you talked to us about. And we're going to leave it in your hands tonight. We're going to walk out of here. Victory in Jesus. And we're not going to be surprised when you answer the need, because we know nothing's impossible with you. And this is your church. In Jesus' name. Just start coming. You that raised your hand for anything, just come on. Or should have raised you, just come on. Just come on.
leaders and just to the altar.